All right. Rich, how you doing, my friend? We are back.
All right, all right, all right.
All right, all right. And you know what they say in NASCAR? All left, all left, all left.
Oh, jeez. I thought they'd just go.
No, because it's only left-hand turns. So it's all left, all left, all left.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was doing Yakko. I was doing Yakko for
No,
Animaniacs.
yeah, it's the same.
If you want to do Porky Pig, you got to do the "Wee That's all, folks."
It's the same thing.
No,
It's
it
all the same.
isn't.
It's the same peoples.
No, it isn't. One is from the 1940s, 50s, and 60s. The other is from the 1990s.
It's all Warner Brothers.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah, they're interconnected. God, Animaniacs. What Ron Paulson?
Rob Paulson, yes,
Rob Paulson.
Yakko.
Yeah, Yakko. And oh my god,
Great
the
show.
voices
Great
that
show.
guy, the voices that guy has done in the past. Holy moly! But yeah,
Leonardo. Was he Leonardo in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Raphael? I think it was Raphael.
I think it was Raphael.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but
And then he had the guy on. He had the guy on that was Brain, and they were doing the. I think they were
Maurice
doing
LaMarche.
Yeah, Maurice LaMarche, and the two of them were doing a scene from. Was it The Godfather?
No, it was.
What movie was it?
It was Silence of the Lambs. It was
Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah,
and it was Brain and Yakko, I believe.
Yeah. No, it was Brain. It was Pinky in the Brain. It was Pinky as
it was
Clarice.
Pinky. Yeah, because Rob did Pinky.
Yeah, so it's Pinky as Clarice, and it's the Brain as. Yeah, that was in Rob Paulson's old show, Tuned In.
Oh, Tuned In was such, and Kevin Conroy was on that a ton.
Oh yeah, the best one I saw was Phil LaMarche doing the voice of Samurai Jack.
LaMarche, Phil LaMarche.
No, it's Phil LaMarche.
Yeah, I know.
He voiced Samurai Jack, so it's him being Samurai Jack,
Phil LaMarche
doing the Joe Pesci. Do you think I'm funny? Scene from Goodfellas.
That's.
Now I've never watched Samurai Jack, but hearing this stoic samurai voice saying this stuff, do you think I'm funny? All that, it was great. The other good one was John DiMaggio doing the voice of Bender, but he's reading How from 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh my gosh, man! And all they needed, like, imagine Phil LaMarche, Maurice LaMarche, John DiMaggio, and then what? Oh crap! What's his name?
Billy West.
No, Joe Don Baker. Is that his name? No, what's his name? Joe.
What's the character he plays?
Well, I mean, famously, he was all the clone troopers from Star Wars in the animated series. He's done God knows how many different voices. Joe. I want to say Joe Don Baker, but I don't think that's right.
But you're not talking about James Arnold Taylor?
No, James Arnold Taylor was. I think he was Anakin. Was it? No, he was. Obi.
He was Obi.
Yeah, he was Obi. He was Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, no. Maybe not Joe Don. It was something Baker. It was crap.
No, that's Andre Sogliuso. He's the voice of all the clone troopers.
No, it's from the animated series.
Yeah, it's Andre Sogliuso. He was the voice of all. Oh, he was the voice in the not. He was voicing the cartoon, not the animated. So the animated one.
Oh, D. Bradley Baker. Sorry.
Yeah, he was the clones. Yeah, D. Bradley Baker.
Yeah, D. Bradley Baker. That guy. You get the four of them together, and it's just like, because D. Bradley Baker's got a filmography that's like a mile long as well.
Well, no, he's got a voiceography. He's got a voiceography.
There's films involved in those, and even if it's just voiceovers, give him some credit. But anyways, we are episode 4 of Second Draft Cinema, where we, as no-name authors, are here.
No, you've got a bigger name than I've got.
I mean, we do have names.
Yeah, but you're a bigger
We're not
name than I am.
nameless.
No, you're a bigger name than I am, though.
We are not Sauron. We are not nameless, faceless,
or he should not be named.
formless.
I'm not gonna laugh.
I really like those movies. Sorry. Anyways,
your Ian McKellen is terrible.
how many film and TV properties have we talked about that are not Jurassic Park so far?
Well, you just ruined it because you mentioned it.
No, I'm just saying. It's called breaking the fourth wall. It's called breaking the fourth wall.
But this isn't Jurassic Park though. This is Jurassic World. It's different.
It's the Jurassic Park property.
It's different. In the canon, it is a separate trilogy. It is not part of the Jurassic Park trilogy. It's the beginning of the new trilogy. So it is separate.
Park canon.
But it's like you earlier talking off when we were recording, talking about Dark Island and all that.
Hey. That is not public knowledge.
Horses eat hay.
That is not public knowledge.
You've got a book called Dark Island.
I know.
It's public knowledge.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I said.
I got my double JP on right now, which I honestly wasn't overly aware of until I sat in here with you. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna wear my Jurassic Park hat, and then I'm like, oh, whatever.
Hey, you are on brand. I'm just in a plain gray t-shirt.
And there's a dinosaur there. There's a dinosaur there. There's a dinosaur. Uh-oh, hang on. This is hard. Dinosaur there. I don't care how many times I've been on camera in my life, which is quite a few. The whole reverse thing will never... Like, some people are like, oh, I can't pat my head and rub my stomach, like that thing. The whole mirror thing, I'll never get it right.
See, I can do that. I can pat my head and rub my stomach. What I can't do, but see, what I can't do is walk, talk, and chew gum at the same time.
Yeah, and I can't kick ass and chew bubblegum either.
I can kick ass, but I can't chew bubblegum.
I can do both. I just can't do them together.
Why not?
Because chewing bubblegum's a lot of work.
Yeah, true. You got to make sure you don't swallow it.
Sometimes you do, and now it's been in my stomach for like 15 years. That's what the experts on the old Google say. So, or I'm sorry, WebMD.
Oh, WebMD.
Yeah, oh man, you want to talk about a death sentence?
Oh, you are showing your age.
Self-diagnose on WebMD after you have a cold.
No matter what you type in, it says you're going to die.
It's a death sentence.
You got the worst thing known to mankind.
It's a death sentence. It's like, oh, my toe hurts. Cancer.
Not even like normal cancer. You got like super duper cancer.
Yeah, you have super cancer. That's like what we were laughing about with Helldivers too, right? It's not just Earth. It's super Earth. It's like, but it's still Earth. It's the same planet in that game, but they've renamed it to Super Earth.
Yeah, because in this ultra fascist world, bigger is better.
I guess. I mean, if it was a different planet that they like conquered, where it's like, like New York, it's York, or New Jersey, like, I guess there's a Jersey.
But then it'd be New Earth, not Super Earth.
No, but my point is maybe there's another Earth that they've
I reckon what happened in Helldivers was there was a world war that brought us to the brink of extinction, and then one country, I'm going to say it was probably the USA. They came forth, and they just basically went, screw this, and they took over the whole planet, and they went, you know what? We're pretty super. Yeah, we've got a super Earth now. Oh, let's call it Super Earth.
That's kind of like what they did in the Escape movies, right? Escape from New York and Escape from LA is the Federated States, United Federate. What did they call it? It was like the and then again in Fifth Element, it was the Federation.
United Federated of the Federation of Planets is Star Trek.
Yeah, I think it's just the United Federated States, I think is what they called it, or something like that in that. But
see, and that's why I always liked Starship Troopers. They didn't bother with any of that. It was just still Earth.
Yeah, and then you had a bunch of white fascists in a military base in Buenos Aires, in South America. It's just so funny that that's where it's based at the beginning, and you're sitting here going, "Wait, where is that?" And then you look it up, you're like,
Well, that's because in the book, in Robert A. Heinlein's book, Johnny Rico, his name is Juan Rico. He's actually proper Brazilian. It was just that when they made the movie, Paul Verhoeven just went, we're going to take all the militaristic satire and all that and turn it up to 20,000.
Yeah, it wasn't even 11. It was 20.
Yeah, no, he just said, we're making it. This is really, he made a propaganda film for that fake government in that movie.
Oh, 100%.
That's why everyone is good looking. That's why everyone's good looking. And the only people who aren't good looking, it's the comic relief. So Jake Busey's character, and then Michael Ironside.
Yeah. But then you got to kill Dizzy. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
I would have rather Denise Richards should have died. Dizzy should have lived.
Yeah, but
Dizzy loved that dude.
But that
so
movie
much.
was playing the rules of you get naked, you die.
Johnny Rico is naked.
Yes, but he's our hero character. He's the final girl.
Dizzy was a hero. Actually, the entire cast was naked because of that shower scene. We saw it.
Well, no, no, because Denise Richards is not in the shower scene, and neither is Clancy Brown or Michael Ironside.
It's true. Ooh, Clancy Brown. That would have been Michael Ironside one. Yeah, maybe it was good that the entire cast was.
Yeah.
And for anyone, Clancy Brown, aka Mr. Krabs.
Well, he's always going to be the Kurgan to me from Highlander.
Yeah.
Or Lex Luthor from the animated Superman series.
Oh yeah, definitely. 100%. But
so, yes, we're not here to talk about pop culture in general.
I mean, that's kind of what Jurassic Park World is, right? It is in like
Jurassic Park World.
That's the new Disney. It's Disney World Land. that's the new
sure
park.
It's not Disneyland World.
Disneyland World. But yes, we are watching Jurassic World. So this is 20.
Oh, we are watching something.
Yeah, we are watching something. 2017?
2015.
15. Oh yeah. That's right. 10 years. God, 10 years. Ugh. Jurassic Park coming out in 1993 is painful enough. This movie already being 10 years old is really painful too. But I don't think I saw this movie in theaters.
I did.
Did I? No, I did see this movie in theaters. I didn't see Fallen Kingdom or Dominion in theaters. That's what it was. I knew there was one. I did see Jurassic Park.
I saw the whole World trilogy. Each movie I did see.
I saw the Jurassic Park trilogy in theaters, but
Jurassic World I saw here in Australia with Mum and Dad. It was one of the last movies. No, this movie was one of the last movies I saw in Australia before moving to Mexico. And then I saw Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom in Mexico. And then Dominion was one of the first movies I saw when I moved back to Australia.
Wow, you got bookends. You got some intercontinental moviegoer.
Yeah, and the best one I saw in Mexico.
Oh, I guess the films weren't great coming down there.
Well, no, Fallen Kingdom's always been my favorite out of the whole franchise.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah,
and when we do watch,
that's going to be an interesting conversation topic between this movie and the next movie, because you and I's opinions, you and I's opinions on Fallen Kingdom are very similar because we both love it, but your opinion and my opinion on this movie are fairly different, pretty different, as far as where, because this is this was like fourth on your list of the series. You had Fallen Kingdom, JP1, JP3, and then this, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this movie is like 2A, 2B. Like it's JP1 and then it's JW1, JW2, and then.
But see, let's just get the movie going, and then we can talk.
Yeah.
Let's get the movie going, and then we can talk more.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
Mr. Richard, hit that play button for me, please.
If I must.
And if you don't, it will find a way.
No.
See what I
Do
just
it
did there?
properly. No, do it properly. You're supposed to say, and if you don't, it will find a way.
And if you don't, I will find you, and I will kill you. That's all you needed. You needed Liam Neeson taking Liam Neeson as the Alan Grant character, and nobody would have died. He would have looked at that raptor and said, I will find you, and I will kill you. And the raptor would have put his little claws up and backed away.
No. All you needed was Liam Neeson. Actually, not even Liam Neeson. You needed Jason Statham. That's who I want to see in a Jurassic Park movie.
There were some great memes coming out with Jason Statham with because the
all the
beekeeper,
movies,
all the different jobs, and they were just like the mailman, the construction worker, the this.
That's
and
not
I'm
because
just like,
that's
you know what? It would work.
That's not because of the beekeeper. That's because of the last movie he had come out, which is called literally A Working Man.
Yeah, he's a construction worker, right?
Yeah, something like that. Now,
Something like
to
that.
the movie we're supposed to be watching and talking about.
Yeah, this was
This is the worst opening. This is one of the worst
only
openings.
thing about this opening, it took me this opening. Actually, this is an extended opening.
No, it's always been this.
No, it's never been this long.
No, it's always been this.
No, because it never shows two eggs.
No, it's always been this.
Maybe it's just because I always fast forward it, but
probably
because they show you two eggs, and the whole that's a great opener too. I'm sorry, that's cool with the bird foot. This is awful, but I'm not saying this is a perfect movie. Don't get me wrong, because we talked about this on the last 3 shows that the openers are mostly kind of meh. There's 2,
the only
maybe
one that
3
had a
of
good
6.
opener. Yeah, Jurassic Park 3 and its Fallen Kingdom.
Well, Jurassic Park we both liked, the raptor enclosure, like the original.
Yeah,
opener.
but that's still like when we watched it, we did tear the opening apart though for the lack of expense.
But we're gonna do that anyways, because there's always something that we could, after we've seen the movie 15 times, there's always something else we could come up with that we'd like.
But personally, for me, this has the weakest. Pretty much everything about this movie is some of the weakest stuff in it in the franchise.
Yeah,
the characters, even the acting.
Yeah.
It's still falling into the Spielberg trap of you've got to have the kids, you've got to have the family drama, which no one cares about. Just get to the dinosaurs.
Yep. And honestly, they bring in the mom and dad, which are actually 2 very good actors, and they're in it for 5 minutes.
Yeah, if that.
Like the dad was the David crap. He was the boss from The Office, from Steve Carell's The Office, from the US Office. David, he was the CEO of the
I never watched it.
Dunder Mifflin. Yeah, Dunder Mifflin.
Yeah, I never watched it.
Yeah. No.
But see, Judy Greer, who plays the mum, I'm a big fan of hers.
Yeah, she's great.
I love it. She put out she wrote a autobiography, and it's called That Movie You Know Me From. That thing you know me from.
And he is the he's one of the he plays a bit role in The Other Guys with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. He's the guy that jumped from the building after. Yeah.
I've only seen that movie once.
Yeah. So he gets drunk, or
that was with you.
Yeah. He jumps from that's when Will Ferrell gets the intercom from the taco truck or the ice cream truck, and he's talking to the guy jumping from the building to kill himself. It's that scene. Right. It's that actor.
Okay.
Anyways.
Okay.
Anyway,
But like all this where they're doing this like this build up to the mystery of the reveal and really capture that like from the first movie. This is very much like the same issues you The Force Awakens. It's trying too much to be like the first movie.
yeah, and that is, I guess, that is the curse of it being a completely different team, while they're also being 14 years in between movies, because JP3 was
But see,
2001. So
for
they're like,
me,
oh, we have to do like a hard reboot and
which okay, fine,
redo
but
the
you know what you
same
do?
thing.
You start with Owen. He's
Yeah.
our hero character. Start with Owen.
No, but that's what I
The
mean
Raptor.
is,
Start with the Raptor training. Don't worry about this stuff. Start with the Raptor training. Do more with that. Do more with Vinny D's character and his machinations. Because all this stuff I don't care about.
no.
And the kids in this movie just annoy me.
Yeah, they're pretty, which is sad because they're both
you got your
like,
typical,
they're both like decent
they're good
actors in
actors.
their own right, but
Yeah.
because Ty Simpkins, a lot of people remember him like Iron Man 3. He's supposed to be like the heir apparent to Tony Stark type of thing, which I guess could still happen.
No, because they've got Ironheart, which is
she's dead on arrival. She won't be back.
No, she's getting her own movie. So
no, oh no, she's getting this series that's going to drop and no one's going to watch. She'll be in and out.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's a series, but I mean,
they're not even promoting it, so that's dead on arrival.
See, you could even start the movie from this point, and I'd be okay with it.
This is a good introduction because they also repeat it in Fallen Kingdom really well.
Oh yeah,
like it's a nice, memorable.
But keep in mind,
the hair's not memorable,
but yeah, I know. And her blank death stare.
Yeah, that icy. But I guess it works because it kind of fits her.
No, it works for this character in this movie. For the rest of the series, with her character arc, it doesn't work.
No.
Why not just give it to Jessica Chastain or Amy Adams? They look the same.
Chastain, I could see.
Yeah, they look alike. You could just swapped her out. No one would have noticed.
Hire her from the get go.
You know, it's like when they swapped out Johnny Depp for Mads Mikkelsen in Fantastic Beasts. No one noticed that.
Unrightfully so.
Yeah. But going from over the top acting and character, like trying to make your villain like David Bowie, to suave, sophisticated European, kind of.
I was seeing Henry walk up behind him was such a good moment.
And the moment you see him in the black turtleneck, you know he's mad scientist territory now, which it makes no sense since in the first movie he's just a regular guy.
Yeah, I mean, and then
his character arc is terrible.
Yeah, his character arc's so bad. Again, that's the thing with these movies is specifically the Jurassic World movie. Well, I guess really since Jurassic Park 2 and 3 too, is Jurassic Park was so heavily character focused. And then these are like most modern movies where they're entertainment.
It's the spectacle. Yeah.
It's the spectacle. And that was what did I just read? I just read again, whether it's 100% accurate or not, I just read this. Peter Stormer, the great Peter Stormer, who was in...
Oh, you're talking about the problem with the Constantine 2
script. With Constantine 2 and why it hasn't been made. And he said Keanu
and the fact that
has not approved of the script because they don't want them to, quote, marvel it.
And that's what the studios want. They want it to be action, and Keanu wants to keep it the character-driven stuff we got in the first movie,
which is mood and tone. And then when the spectacle happens, it's nuts. It's like And that's what Constantine was. It was
Um,
character driven, and when
yeah.
something happened, it was like, "Oh
See,
my god, this is insane."
see,
So, same thing. That's
The
what happened
Jurassic,
with these
the
movies. They
Jurassic,
got so yeah, spectacle focused,
yeah.
which it
But see, my
works,
problem,
but there's
but the other
problems with
thing
it.
is, this is your typical Hollywood problem, which is this: Jurassic Park was written completely as standalone. It's a one and done. But
Yeah.
because it made so much money,
It was one of the first
it
billion-dollar
it made
movies.
sense to come back and do more. And the
Was it
more
the
you do
first
it,
billion-dollar theatrical run? 1993? It
I've got no idea.
it may have been the first billion-dollar movie, like, theatrical. So I remember it was the number one grossing movie ever when it came out. So it had to have been the first billion-dollar movie because it did $1 billion. I know that for a fact. So it may have been at that time. Anyways,
I didn't think it. I thought
I thought it was $1 billion movie.
I didn't think it was. I thought the first like billion-dollar movie was like Titanic.
I think it was the first $2 billion movie. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought Jurassic Park was I thought it did $1 billion in theaters. I could be wrong.
No, the first movie to gross over $1 billion was Titanic,
Which was a couple years later, right? That was 90,
98.
98. Okay.
It made $1
Okay.
billion in 74 days.
Wow, 74 days, 2.5 months. And most of that was probably in the first 40 days.
Yeah. And Jurassic Park earned $914 million.
Okay, so it was all right. Which was still like mind-numbingly shocking.
Yeah. But it's the laws of diminishing returns.
Yeah.
You keep going back to the well, you're going to run into problems. And I mean, okay, so characters in this movie. She's okay. Owen's good. Vinny D is good.
I
Omar
like Jack
Sy is good.
Johnson. I like Jack Johnson's
See,
character
see,
personally.
Jake. It's Jake, man,
Jake
not
Johnson, sorry.
Jack.
Jack Johnson's a singer.
See, his character, you could have replaced him with any nerdy comic relief actor, and it still works.
No, but I like his portrayal of the character. Like I like him in that
See,
role. It works.
this whole everything here, I don't, and it comes down to one thing. There's a scene towards the end of the movie where he's going to try to kiss the girl,
Oh yeah. And you
and the
don't care.
music, the music stops. It literally stops. And I saw that movie in the cinema. I saw this in the cinema. That part happened. I groaned loud. And we came out. Dad says to me, "Why'd you groan in that one part?" I said, "Because they should. Because it's a comic. These two characters who we know nothing about. We don't care. They're comic relief. Go for it. He goes for a kiss. The music stops because she pulls back. In a proper comedy movie, what would have happened?" And Dad goes, "Record scratch." I go, "There you go." It is tonally out of place.
Maybe because I see me and him, like because he is like he's got the
Dude, you're
dinosaurs
way
everywhere.
cooler than
He's
you're
got the
way cooler
Jurassic
than that
Park
character.
shirt. He's got the even the
You're
line
way
where
you're
even
way
the line where he
cooler.
says that park
You're
was
way
legit. Like
you're
like
way
he's
cooler than him.
no, but like
You're
if
way
I'm
cooler.
working there, I am the fanboy employee. Like he is. He's
Fine.
the fanboy. Like he
Yeah, no,
loves.
I've got no problem there. I've got no problem there being a fanboy employee. It's
Maybe
just
that's
that
all it is.
it's just
It
something
just
about it always
I
rubs me
like
the wrong
I like
way.
the character. And he's so good, Mr. Mizrani. And you said he is a massive star in India, and when they did the press tour out there, he was the star of the press tour, right? Because he's like a
No,
huge
no,
deal.
no, that was not for the no, that was League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh, that was Nemo.
Nemo. Yeah, that was
Gotcha.
Nemo.
Okay,
Yeah, he was the massive star in India, and when they did that
yeah,
tour,
that was Nemo.
he got more attention than Sean Connery.
That's insane.
And apparently Sean Connery was quite happy with that.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. Got it. Got it. This is a very quotable movie.
Like, all this is fine.
I like it.
Maserati's fine. Like, all this is good. The things I hate about this movie do ruin it for me to an extent.
There's nothing like there's things that I don't like, but I don't think there's anything in this movie that like
No, there
bothers
are
me.
things there are things I truly hate, and when they come up and happen, it takes me out of the movie for a bit.
Music in the background's great. I love listening. This is a great soundtrack.
Yeah, but that you like your love affair of Henry Jackman, you love Michael Giacchino.
Michael Giacchino's great. Like he's done so much, and he's done some really versatile work too.
Yeah.
He's done great stuff. He did The Incredibles, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Which is, it doesn't shock me because The Incredibles is very brass band heavy with that soundtrack.
Oh, it's all done on purpose though. It is capturing the
Yeah.
John Barry 1960s Bond style.
Yeah. And now Rebirth is Desplat, right? Alexander Desplat.
Does the play? Yep, and that's because he
What?
and Gareth Edwards have worked together.
Yeah.
Before
And that
on Godzilla.
should be great because it's still Jurassic, so there's still a base to work on. And if he gives it that flair that we've heard in some of the other work, especially since it looks like it's just a jungle adventure movie,
So it should go more towards. I reckon it'll go more towards Lost World, where it's more bongos and things like that.
Pirates of the Caribbean, which that's where I know Alexander's work. From
Did he? He did what? One of the later. He did one of the later ones.
4.
Yeah, one of the later ones, which
because Hans
I think I saw
was a part of the first 3, right?
No, he even did. I think he also did the 4th one. Then? Yeah, I think so. Hans he did that World's End. I think. I think he did. I think he did do on Stranger Tides.
I thought the last on Stranger Tides was. I thought that was Display. Maybe not.
No, hang on. No, I can tell you.
Maybe not, because what's his name did. The other guy did. Dead Men Tell No Tales. That was another conductor.
Well, Alexander Desplat did Rise of the Guardians, so we know he does good action and good.
Yeah, that's a good soundtrack as well.
He did Valerian.
I like Valerian.
No,
that's a guilty pleasure. It's a guilty pleasure movie for me.
Alexander Desplat had done no Pirates movie.
What?
He has done none of the Pirates movie. Yeah.
What the heck do I know him from then? Because it's not because of like Valerian and any of that stuff.
Hans Zimmer did on Stranger Tides.
No, because isn't he from the school of Zimmer, like Jackman is?
No, he isn't. No, he is not. Desplat is French. Like he got started in French movies. Yeah. So Klaus Badelt did the first Pirates movie. Then 2 to 4 was Hans Zimmer, and then number 5 was Jeff Sinelli.
Oh, Desplat did Harry Potter.
Yeah, he did on. Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is.
No,
that's what
Desplat
I know
is
from
not
the later Harry Potter movies he did. He did Argo.
Yeah, no, Desplat is. Yep. Yeah, Desplat is not from the school of Zimmer. He's his own thing.
Okay. You know what? That's where I got it mixed up. Is he's Harry Potter.
Yeah.
He took over the Harry Potter stuff. Oh, he did Pinocchio, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Yeah, the Fantastic Mr. Fox movie.
Oh, he's doing the new Frankenstein. Ooh.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for it, and I don't know.
I'm sorry. I like Oscar Isaac a lot. So
yeah, I like Oscar Isaac.
To me, Oscar Isaac should be getting the roles that Dum Dum is getting with Disney and Marvel right now. Pedro Pascal.
Yeah. No, I don't want Oscar Isaac being.
No, but I'm saying he should be getting all of these different roles where Pedro Pascal gets cast in everything. Like Oscar Isaac's actually a really good actor.
Because Oscar Isaac was already Isaac's already Moon Knight. He can't be Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying just Marvel in general. I'm just saying.
See, I want to see
getting
Oscar
every job in the world. Like
I want to see Oscar. Yeah, see, I want Oscar Isaac to be in a swashbuckling adventure. He could do the Brendan Fraser kind of character perfectly.
Oh, 100%. 100%. That was my thing with like when like Oded Fair type of stuff where like you get there's just that look, there's that charm, there's that suave about him where it's like when Oded Fair showed up in the Resident Evil series,
Yeah.
And I saw him. I'm like, he's such a like the short hair, that clean look, because he wasn't obviously the Medjay, in that. So he had just the more normal modern look. I'm like that's an action hero. That's what looks like an action. Like
Yeah.
I could see Oscar, and like I said, Oscar's a great actor. He also
Oscar
played.
Isaac.
He just did the voiceover for the new Jesus Christ animated movie.
Okay.
He plays Jesus in an animated movie too.
Okay.
Which
See,
is,
well, see, to me, this
which is
character,
cool.
the Owen Grady character,
Mm-hmm.
Oscar Isaac would have brought a bit more danger, but also a lot more charm to the character than Chris Pratt.
Yeah, I like Chris a lot. So
Oh no, Chris Pratt's great. Like Chris Pratt. Once Chris Pratt comes into the movie, we've got a movie.
And I remember he was making this movie during the press tour for Guardians.
Yeah.
And then he goes, yeah, it was difficult going back and forth because I'm making Jurassic World, but I have to talk about Guardians.
Yeah.
And he's just like, he goes, it was very difficult to do that. And he hadn't seen Guardians because none of the actors see it until it basically comes out. Like maybe they get an early screening like a week before, but most of them don't.
Crew screening. Yeah.
Yeah. Most of them don't.
See,
like most of them see it opening night.
The cast in this movie is great. You got Vinny D as your human villain.
Yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio. First,
I can't pronounce his. Yeah, I can't pronounce his last name, so he's just Vinny D to me.
D'Onofrio, but Vincent D'Onofrio. The first thing that comes to mind for me, I know a lot of people. It's
Edgar Suit.
Yeah, Edgar Suit. Thank you. It is. It's Men in Black.
Yeah, that's what comes to my head too. It's not Full Metal Jacket.
A lot of people, it's
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket. Yeah.
Or an Order of Criminal Intent.
Yeah, but it's usually the Full Metal Jacket character. It's the psycho.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's the Edgar Suit. It's the exterminator alien.
Yeah, it's Edgar.
Bug. Yeah. It was an Edgar. It was an Edgar suit.
Yeah, she's not even saying Ed, it's just Edgar.
Edgar.
Yes, he's wearing a suit, like I got suit.
Dude, and his physical comedy in that movie was so good.
That scene where he's doing that walk out of the restaurant, he's got leg braces on, he's got a back brace on. He put himself through physical pain to get that.
And he's like throwing his arm around, like trying to get himself to turn. It's so good. Was that the jewelry store part, or was that?
No, that was at the restaurant. After he's killed the two aliens.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, where he's pretending to be the waiter,
the busboy. Yeah,
or the busboy. Yeah, but then I was also thinking of him after the jewelry store attempted heist, I guess we'll call it, where he was looking for the universe, the jewel.
Yeah. So after he kills the two aliens, he's got the little box that he thinks has the universe, and he's in his van, banging it all over the place.
Yeah, it ends up just being a bunch of diamonds.
Yeah.
Do you hear yourself talk when you talk?
That's very similar to a line from a James Garner movie that I love called "Support Your Local Sheriff." It's a western. It's a western comedy, and Bruce Stone plays this supposedly tough talking character. And he says this stuff to James Garner, and James Garner says, "You make me tired all over when you talk like that."
Yeah. I thought I was gonna say, you got a purty mouth. I like the way you talk. What is that from Blazing Saddles?
You got a mouth. You use your tongue better than a $2 whore.
I thought he said something about I like the way you talk or whatever he said.
No. That's tag it to Harvey Korman, and it's you use your tongue better than a $2 whore.
Froggy, where's Froggy? Taggart. He reaches in the tub.
See, this was the other issue of the Jurassic World movies. They tried to make a raptor cute.
Yeah, they turned a raptor into a main character, and that was a little awkward.
What they did, they baby Grootified it. They Grootified a raptor.
Baby Grootified. Interesting.
Yeah, think about it.
No, they did.
Baby Groot from Guardians 2, and then in Jurassic in Fallen Kingdom, what did we get? We got Baby Raptor.
Yeah. But I do. So this is so again, stuff like that. It doesn't bother me because what it does is it pays off later with the motorcycle chase, with the motorcycle scene, which for like a movie, for an action adventure movie with dinosaurs, it's so cool.
It's
like,
a good that is a good poster moment.
Yeah, but then it's also the way it's all shot too. So it's like it switches back and forth between the headset cameras from like the InGen SF guys, and then Owen's perspective, and then Barry's perspective, Omar Sy, who's another great actor in this movie.
Who gets nothing to do.
Yeah, it's sad that he doesn't, and he's obviously,
and he really gets nothing to do in Dominion either.
Yeah, he's not even in Fallen Kingdom, and he was a good character. I liked him a lot. I was hoping, like, I like Jake Johnson's character, so it's like I wish he had more to do in the series. I wish Omar Sy's character, the Barry character, had more to do in the series. And what he did in Dominion was great. Like, he was awesome.
But we could have had more
because he was also involved in the best part of that movie.
Yeah,
the Malta sequence, the entire.
Every time anytime you and I were going to watch that movie, we always just go straight to we just talk only about the Malta sequence.
Yeah, I mean, we watched the movie, but all we're doing is waiting for Malta, and then once Malta happened, we're talking about Malta.
If I watched Dominion by myself, I'd skip to the Malta sequence.
Yeah. It's like when I watch The Two Towers, I skip the bromance.
Well, in that case, you're just going to skip all the. You're going to go from Fellowship, half of Fellowship,
to the Return of the King, to the second half of Return of the King.
No, to the end of the end credits of Return of the King.
That's true. Yeah, the bromance is. I need to find I bet you there's a YouTube edit of those movies with.
I love the YouTube edit of Blazing Saddles that was made today. It's literally the opening credits and straight to the end credits.
Yeah, I was about to say there's nothing in that movie you could make today, which is incredibly sad. This was a good edit job with it cutting and then the phone ringing.
This is your standard. This is your standard twofer editing.
It is annoying that they do. So it's annoying, but it's also kind of a callback. Is the product placement with Mercedes in this series? They always show the Mercedes cars from the front, and it's like a really cool action shot of the Mercedes like driving or parking because they were a sponsor.
Yeah.
But Mercedes is also the cars from Jurassic Park. There's Mercedes involved in that too. So it's kind of, it's one of those things where it's like,
it's still keeping with canon.
Yes. Even though the Jeeps they're Jeep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's, remember he says Jeep Sahara beige.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no. That's the thing. That character, Ty Simpkins' character, that's the little one's Ty Simpkins, right?
Yeah. He's
coded. He's coded one way, and they never outright say it or not.
No, he's definitely semi-spectrum.
Yeah, he's coded that way. The way it's written, he's coded that way. Yeah. Which
he was the inspiration behind a character in my last book in Fracture.
Oh, fair enough.
So I had Rebecca Rakestraw.
I remember you.
She Asperger's, and she has Asperger's, and she's on that spectrum, and she's very, very singular.
But you come out and say it outright, though. You come out and you outright say, this movie they don't. They pussyfoot around it in this movie.
Yeah, 100%.
Which just either own it, like you did, or don't bother.
Well, they couldn't because the actor isn't on the spectrum. So they would be like, you have somebody.
But then why write it that way? Why code it? Why write it and code it? Because when I was that age, any kid, any boy that age is a dinosaur lover.
Yeah, 100%.
They just needed him to be able to expound certain things that were
Mhm.
nostalgia bait. That's all the reason they coded him that way.
And that's why I made Becca's character Asperger's, is because I needed the the opposite magnetic force of my main character, of Noah, who is a paleontologist, but I needed it to be somebody that wasn't a paleontologist. I needed to be like a normal person. And the
Yeah.
issue with that is the depth of knowledge I needed for these conversations is kind of impossible unless you're
Yeah.
in the field. So the next best thing was a character that was a singular focused, like mentally singular focused character. And it just, that is a characteristic of a lot of people that are on the
Yeah.
that are on that spectrum, is, especially with Asperger's, is you get
But as I
a,
said,
yeah.
but that's the
Anyways,
thing. As I said, why code him that way if you're not going to say it?
yeah.
You're only doing it because you need him to be say lines to set up nostalgia. Like the thing about the Sahara Jeep.
I also think that could have been a beginning point,
So once you
era
get that point,
wise, of the
but
downfall of Hollywood too, where
eh,
you started
I just think it's bad. I just
getting really
honestly, I think it's more
sensitive
just. I
people.
just think it's more bad writing.
Yes and no. I mean, I don't fault you for thinking that, like, at all. Like, it could definitely just be that. But I also think you were starting to get into uh focus groups and censorship in Hollywood before it got rampant in 2019.
Maybe, but it still
I
comes.
think
It
this
still
was the
starts with it.
early
But it's
onset Hollywood
but
wokeism.
but it still starts with the script and the studio. Now, if they
And I
wanted
remember
to,
first time I
if
saw the Mosasaur, I was like, "What
yeah, that was
the?"
cool.
Even though they never
But
got that
if
big, but
they
then you got to figure
if
they
they wanted to
genetically
code
modify
it, like
dinosaurs,
if
whatever,
but
or
hang on,
marine
if they
reptiles.
wanted to, if they still wanted to go with the woke, even if it was early days of wokeism, they still would have come out and say, yeah, the kid's got whatever part of the alphabet he's got.
No, because like you said, they were pussyfooting around it. They were dancing around it. They wouldn't come out
Yeah.
and
So
say
and
it.
then that case, you don't do it at all.
Yeah, no, no, no. That would have been the smartest thing to do, is just not do it at all. You
Because
would have
whenever the kid's on
needed,
screen, like whenever he's talking, except in this sort of moment, but normally when he's talking and he's rattling off all the facts and all that, I'm just sitting there going, get to the next
hey,
scene.
there's the nice
Like
Mercedes.
this. They got to the next scene.
So the way that they could do it is, she needed to be more than what she is. She needed to be more than just some corporate bureaucrat.
Hmm.
And then the problem with that is now the kids are useless.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You don't need to always have the kids. You don't always need to have a
No,
kid.
no,
You
no, no,
don't
no.
need
But
to
that's the
do that.
point, is you're going to have the kids. Like, as much as we want to change the movie, you're not taking the kids away from Spielberg. At this point, he could be a meth head trailer park mom and you're not taking the kids away. DHS has no power over Steven Spielberg. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
DHS has got
What's
nothing.
DHS?
The Department of, like, Family Services.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah,
I think that's the
like,
best description of Spielberg ever.
Yeah, no, he is the
Government's trying to take my babies.
yes, essentially. He is the trailer park crack mama that has like a force field that DHS can't take her kids away, all 14 of them. So no, but that's kind of the idea. Is it's like, we can try to rewrite this movie as much as we want as authors, but we're not, we can't actually take the kids away, because even if we were writing this movie, Spielberg wouldn't let it happen. So
Yeah,
there's
I
only
know.
so much that we can rewrite. So we could, like, when we were in JP2, we were trying to rewrite Sarah Harding's character, or at least give her more of what the book offered her, or because she was two different characters in the book. So that's what we
Yeah.
could do, is we could rewrite an existing character. The problem is then the kids really have nothing to do in this movie, because even in
They've got
JP,
nothing to. They've got nothing to do at the moment.
No, but the whole idea
They're only here
is
for her
that,
character arc.
no, but the whole idea is that Ty Simpkins, so Gray, gives us the Owen Grady knowledge when Owen's not on camera. And then his older brother is like supposed to be a little bit more of the adult, older brother. So he's supposed to kind of take care of him type of thing. So fine. So then, like what you get in JP1, you have Timmy, who is the Gray character. He is the dinosaur nerd.
Yeah, but Timmy wasn't annoying. He had a purpose being there, which was that's
Sure.
the demographic. In this movie, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
No, the kids are supposed to be there because of her. They're supposed to be with her. Like that's
Yeah,
the whole
I
point
know,
of them
but
being there is they're on
they still don't
vacation with
matter.
her.
They
No,
still
they
don't
don't.
matter.
No.
Like really, the only people who truly matter in this movie, it's her, it's Owen, it's Vinny D, and that's really it. Oh, and maybe Maserati.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be
He's the
he really
inheritor of
is.
John Hammond. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the heir apparent to John Hammond.
Well,
Which
he's not even the heir apparent. He is the heir.
no, he is the heir. Yeah, but so that was the one thing with this movie. I think that's actually what bothered me the most is, spoiler, when his character ends up getting off. He ends up dying.
It's a terrible death.
Yeah, no, it's not that he dies. It's that he's a good actor. The character is good because you're sitting here going, he is the new John Hammond. And he gets
could have
half a
kept
movie.
him. You could have kept him alive, and he could have imagine him in Fallen Kingdom, or in like you have him in Fallen Kingdom instead of Ian Malcolm.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, the whole point is I would have had him in Fallen Kingdom trying to help and combat what was happening in Fallen Kingdom.
But the problem is no one knows what's happening in Fallen Kingdom, like the auction and all that, spoilers, all that. No one knows that except the villains. That's the problem. You can't have him combating that because no one knows about it. So really, you have him in the third one, and he's spearheading.
Oh, he could have been spearheading the beginning of Fallen Kingdom with the dinosaur conservation group.
Exactly. And then when you get to Dominion, you then
he
go.
Could have had a much bigger role.
Yeah.
He could have showed up. He could have showed up like a badass up in the the hell is the mountain range? We can never remember the name in Italy.
Oh, that the Italian mountain range that they're in. Yeah, I don't know.
Starts with a D.
But yeah, it's the sort of thing.
He could have showed up and been like, "What are you doing, guy?" And then you have the battle of the billionaires.
Well, yeah, no, but imagine him like going to Malta and trying to buy those dinos to save them.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's the not detritus, not D'Artagnan. One is Leaves, and the other one is a Three Musketeer. Technically, isn't he the fourth Musketeer, D'Artagnan?
So yeah, he is the fourth.
He's the fourth. Okay.
Because the three is Athos, Aramis,
Domelites,
and Porthos.
Dolomites. No,
Dolomites.
That's the mountain range.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, having him and Dotson, having the two of them
nobody
together,
really cares.
nobody cares. This was an amazing introduction to like the villain. It's like my favorite dinosaur in the series, and it's not even the real dinosaur.
A real one. But it also shows Owen's ingenuity and his know-how.
Yeah.
Like cutting the fuel line to cover his scent.
Yeah. But Colin Trevorrow, he
I thought it was Trevorrow.
Whatever. He specifically talked about this movie and the way that he filmed the blocking to make the dinosaurs look even bigger because they're like out of frame. kind of like
Yeah.
the kaiju movies. Like there was like a specific, there was like the way that he did it. I remember he said that was a very conscious effort of his in order to make, like I said, to make the dinosaurs even bigger. It was you might know, it was a specific aspect ratio or something, or what did
Yeah, there
he?
is.
I can't remember what it is, but I remember we've talked about it in the past. But I like that because you don't really see, you see like the top of the Indominus is always cut off. Like you'll see that roar, but you don't see like the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't
Like,
see it until they do a proper reveal.
yeah, and I like that because you
Mm.
just you get that flavor, that taste of, whoa, this is like,
It's
this is
Jaws.
nuts. Yeah, it's the fin. Yeah.
It's Jaws. You show a bit of it. You show the eye. You show the fins. You show maybe the mouth. You never show the whole thing until a certain point.
Yeah.
But here they've got CGI and not a mechanical shark in the water.
Correct. And then see what happens is that he doesn't die in this movie. He goes on to become the Kingpin. Vinny D. Hell no.
One of my favorite Vinny D characters is from the
D'Onofrio.
Magnificent Seven. Yeah, him. It's the character he plays in the Magnificent Seven with Denzel and Chris Pratt.
In Chris Pratt.
That's a good remake.
Yeah, I'm partial to the original with Yul Brynner and everybody, but yeah,
I
it was a good
love the
remake.
story. I love the fact that Yul Brynner hated Steve McQueen because Steve McQueen is an up and coming. He's not the star he is at that point.
Yeah,
And there's that great shot where they're
he
riding the
plays
carriage.
Chris Pratt's character, right?
Yeah, basically.
They're like the
So
same character.
there's that shot where they're on the carriage riding into town, and Yul's got the reins looking really intense and intimidating. And next to him, there's Steve McQueen, and he's loading his gun. But what he's doing is before he loads each round, he shakes it and listens to it to make sure it's right, and then loads it. And that was something Steve McQueen came up with just for shits and giggles. Sorry. And it became the thing where you watch that scene and all you're doing is watching, not Yul Brynner, you're watching Steve McQueen.
You are Steve McQueen.
And he started doing more and more of those sort of things and started to draw attention away from Yul Brynner. And Brynner hated it.
Yeah.
See, this whole sequence moment isn't needed.
No.
Because I don't care.
I like no. But so here, so yeah, we get it because the story is you need to make the audience care about these kids, and that is no. I know that, but that is Spielberg going. You must care about these
and
kids.
it is storytelling 101. You want to have your audience care about the characters.
Yes,
it's storytelling 101.
Yes.
You could make these characters the greatest characters in the of all time. They could save the world. They could stop. They're the ones who killed the dinos. You could do that. And I still wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Because you introduced them in the most boring way.
And what's worse is like stuff like this. You spend so much time building up these characters, and then you have 2 sequels and neither of them are in it.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, they're younger characters. They could grow up. They could become something. And neither one of them are in them. And you're sitting here going, what are we doing?
What's the point? Yeah.
What are we doing in a 2-hour movie where we spend 20 minutes of it, 20 minutes plus with these characters we just don't care about? And it's not just this movie. It's movies. It's hundreds, thousands of movies that have been made where you have these B-roll characters that we don't care about, that we spend a ton of time with. And we're just like, okay, now what?
Yeah. Well, I can tell you why.
That's like Ty Simpkins' character, right? That's like Ty Simpkins' character in Iron Man 3, He's such a he is portrayed as such an
As
important character.
and he's even there at Tony Stark's funeral in Endgame.
He is. And remember, Tony
know.
gifts him his own Jarvis
Yep.
lab at the
Yep.
end.
But
From the
I can tell you
mechanic.
why neither kids are in the sequel. They wanted too much money.
I mean, it's possible. No, but when you think about it, it's the same way like Mizrahi. So it's like, or the same way with some like Jake Johnson's character. Like the way when they what they decided to do with Fallen Kingdom literally cut out 90% of the cast.
But remember, Jake Johnson scheduling conflicts. He couldn't make the movie.
No. But the point is it being a isolated story away from the park, and it basically just refocusing on Owen and her. Yeah. It was like the other characters it would be very awkward and like, oh, Barry's back. Oh, this guy's back. Well, what do you all
Yeah,
like?
it makes no point.
It makes no sense.
And this is also the problem when you bring in a different director who has his own ideas.
Yeah. So these two, the two nerds we're seeing on either side, just because they can't, Lowry and whatever her name is.
I was about to say, Maserati's not a nerd.
No, younger characters. So they could have been in working with Claire at the beginning of Fallen Kingdom. And then could you imagine if we had Jake Johnson instead of Dum Dum? Instead of Justice Smith's character, Franklin?
See, both of them grind my gears. But these characters make me great.
Jake Johnson would have been so much better in that role.
But the problem is you need to have their
because he's an IT guy. He could have done
the vet. You need to have the vet for that one scene where Blue needs.
So Zia Rodriguez, the vet, is fine.
Yeah.
But the Franklin character didn't need to be Justice Smith.
I know.
It could have been.
But remember,
like
Jake Johnson couldn't do it because he was making something else.
Yeah. No. I know. But again, so that character could have been and maybe it was supposed to be. Who knows? Or maybe Jake was supposed to be a Lowry in a completely different character, different situation.
Don't know.
We don't.
But also, I think Justice Smith was the wrong actor for that role.
100%. He's terrible. His character arc is one of the worst in movie histories, and it lasted 2 movies.
It's not even a character arc.
It really doesn't. Yeah, that's actually doing a disservice to the term character arc.
And this sequence annoys me.
Yeah, these guys are just willingly dying.
Yeah, this is supposed to be your crack team of asset retrievers. These are supposed to be like your Delta Force for the island, and they get owned.
Well, it's like that. And they're sitting here going, "All my guys are dying, and I'm just going to stand here."
And they're making the worst decisions.
Yeah, they're bad.
Like that last guy walking towards it. Come on.
That, from a story perspective, is supposed to show you that the Indominus is that like overpowered. It made whatever they're called, the asset containment, it made them look terrible. But I think the intention was to
the intention is to make the Indominus look badass. Yeah.
Yes. But it made asset containment look terrible. In the end, whether that was on purpose or not, which I don't think it was on purpose.
No one in their right mind is going to walk towards a gaping maw of death.
No, what you do is you give them live ammo, and it still doesn't kill the thing. Yeah. Like Owen, remember? So, spoiler, later in the movie, Owen is shooting the damn thing with a freaking Henry lever action, and he can't pen the armor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, give these guys...
And even as he says, get a 30 millimeter gun, whack it on the helicopter, and smoke it.
Yeah. So the idea is give these guys live ammunition. Maybe you give them like little pussyfoot 9mm submachine guns or something that aren't going to pen armor, but give them something that at least portrays death and violence.
Yeah.
I mean, but again, that also makes Mizrahi look exactly like John Hammond.
Yeah. Which
is the real villain. Because if Mizrahi didn't care so much about the money, he would have told his guys to smoke it and kill it. But what did he say? We've invested
too much money,
$26 million into this asset. We can't just kill it.
Yeah.
That's John Hammond.
Oh, yeah.
That's John Hammond. Well, like the first half of Jurassic Park, John Hammond. The second half.
Any
because it
CEO
was
of
his
a
family.
Fortune 5 million company.
Well, it's different because John Hammond had had his family on the island. Mizrahi has nobody.
Yeah,
So
Maserati's really just looking at solely from the money point of view.
yeah, it's black and red.
But then once he saw the carnage, then he goes, right, we've got to do the right thing.
Yeah, right now they're all shocked and they're all trying to figure
But
out
remember,
a way.
Maserati
They're
walks
all
off screen. Maserati's heading to the helicopter. He's going to get it all loaded up. He's the one who's taking on what Owen says.
Yeah. Yeah, because this is where they're going, these are our parameters. This is what we're supposed to be doing. And holy shit, it didn't work.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, now what do we do?
Yeah, and now you got mad scientist Henry Wu. I mean, this is one of my big sticking points in this franchise is Henry Wu going from regular excited, hey, I got a cool job making dinosaurs to full on tea serving, turtleneck wearing villain.
But then you have to understand this is 22 years.
But there's no explanation. That's the problem. He just shows up like this, so there's no explanation.
To me, you would just assume 22 years of doing this has really screwed with his moral compass.
He wasn't involved in Site B. He wasn't involved in Lost World. He's not involved in what do you call it? Jurassic Park 3.
We don't know he wasn't involved in Site B.
But no. A regular person wouldn't think that. That's the thing. You and I do because we're writers.
Well, you just have to. I mean, I think you need to give movie fans that aren't writers some credit on looking into some of the background on this series.
So regular movie going people. My parents are regular moving people. Even my dad agrees. This makes no sense. Why he's a mad scientist?
Yeah,
that's the thing. It makes no sense.
No, it's a small.
This is bad nostalgia bait.
Yeah,
this is bad nostalgia bait.
Yeah, this is trying to link
you
it.
could come up with a whole different character for this mad scientist role.
Yeah. See, now Mizrahi is coming out as like a badass, and like he's doing what's best for the company, even though he's gonna take a hit for it.
Yeah.
I love this explanation. I wanted it.
Yeah.
Because now this comes back in Dominion.
Yeah.
When they talk about nothing, everything here is natural. We don't fill in anything. And that's why there's like feathers, there's just whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's a nice touch because it does come in later and it works well, which is something to say with Dominion. But Jimmy Fallon annoys the crap out of me, but I like it. It's perfect for this because a theme park would bring in a celebrity.
Yeah.
Because Disney's done it in the past and it's worked out great. Like, God, why can I never remember his name? In Journey to Imagination with Figment, the British actor, he's so funny.
I have no idea because that was gone long before I went to Disney.
No, it's still there.
No, when I went there, it wasn't.
It's in Epcot.
No,
it's in the glass pyramid.
No.
Yeah. I live here. It's here. It's been here forever.
You live in Epcot?
I live in South Florida. I know where. I'm very familiar with Journey to Imagination. He's a hilarious British actor. He was a part of I think he was part of Monty Python's crew.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, okay, you're right. You're still there. Eric Idle.
Yeah, Eric Idle. He's so funny in that. So he's brought in as like the narrator of that ride. So it's like it's perfect. It works so well. So Jimmy Fallon being the narrator of this ride doesn't bother me. It's just I don't like Jimmy Fallon.
Who does?
You know who that could have been, and it would have been really funny, is
Christopher Walken.
No, I would have said someone like Conan O'Brien or oh crap, what's his name? The Late Show guy, the Scotsman.
Oh, Craig Ferguson.
Yeah, Craig Ferguson, someone like that. Where there's a little more edge to like.
Now, you know who you get? You go full meta. You get Jeff Goldblum playing Jeff Goldblum.
That's like at the very end of Love Guru. You get Mike Myers playing Mike Myers, him and Kanye in the Toronto Maple Leaf jerseys, and it just says Mike Myers. It doesn't, that's like not even fourth wall. That's like fifth wall. That's like third dimension thinking right there. I like the hamster ball scene. It's really cool. I like the callback in the next movie.
Now you'd think they would know there are dead areas on the island for cell reception, so you would build towers to combat that.
Unless it's his phone, we
Yeah.
His reaction to this is priceless. He's just like, I've heard this before. Just do it. I like that scene too with the CCT or the CCTV, right? Cameras. It being shot that way. We're going to be making root beer out of the toilet. What? I like the holograms. That's Hammond's statue right there, right?
Yeah.
One that's blurred.
It's not blurred, it's out of focus.
Correct. This is a great character moment with her.
Yes, the whole point of these kids being in this movie is just for her character development, which
100%.
You could do with one kid, really.
Never, not in a Spielberg movie. Has to be two.
I'm so glad he never did kids in Indiana Jones, except for Short Round, but he was a cool one.
Yeah, he was a sidekick. There's a difference.
Yeah, that's different. These are just.
Yeah, no, this. God, just go back through these movies, and you know what's so funny? Like, they're like the one movie, like we like you get like Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, where there's the one kid, but it's a different situation.
Yeah.
Because that kid is directly linked and involved.
Yeah, it's important. The kid's important. Here they're not.
Yeah,
well, the kid in Jurassic Park 3 is important. No, but Jurassic Park 3 kid is important to the plot as well. Because he's the catalyst.
But the idea is, so you have 22 years between movies, between JP1 and JW1. You have 22 years involved in between. You have memorable children characters from JP1, and neither one of them are involved ever again, except for one little scene at the beginning of JP2.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't have Timmy involved at all. I mean, Timmy is perfect. He should be working at Jurassic World.
No, because Timmy you'd be scarred for life. Like how Alan, Alan before Jurassic Park loves dinosaurs. After Jurassic Park hates dinosaurs.
But I think there's some personalities that would want to be involved in like.
No, I reckon almost getting eaten by a T-Rex, you're going to be like, no love will get you back in there.
Yeah, to me, the Raptors would probably be it.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got the T-Rex, you're getting almost eaten by a T-Rex, shocked by an electric fence, eaten by a raptor. No, you're not. You're never going anywhere near a dino.
No, but okay, so fine. He's not involved in the park, but maybe he's pulled back into it like Alan is, where it's
what, you're going to kidnap Timmy?
No, it's something to do with his connection to Hammond. Maybe there's a trust. Maybe there's money. Maybe there's
because like he'd still visit his grandfather. He'd still love his grandfather, but he wouldn't want anything to do with a normal rational person.
No. That's why he's like forced back into it because of his relationship.
But how? Because Maserati's company owns InGen. They took over, so he's out.
Maybe it's a side thing, like like InGen in this case, trying to go behind Mizrahi and do all this other stuff. Maybe they're doing it with Hammond's money, or they want Hammond's money.
Nah. Well,
Like
but
there's ways. It's like you have these actors that have aged up that could be a part of it.
also maybe he didn't want to. He doesn't want to. They don't want to do it. That's the other thing.
Yeah. Okay, so the actors would definitely want to do it because it's a big paycheck
You
and
know,
it's a movie that's going to be remembered forever. The writers and directors, on the other hand, completely
not
different
really.
story.
Well, no, because okay, the guy who played Timmy forged his own career away from Jurassic Park. In the Pacific, he was in Bohemian Rhapsody. Doesn't need to do a nostalgia bait movie.
Depending on the money, I think you are overestimating.
Nah, this is not Hugh Jackman territory.
You got to remember, even the actors that are in those movies, he's not making anything in those movies. He's accepting those roles because he's getting hired. Those are working actors.
Who?
Working actors don't make anything. Like the
No,
Timmy
but
kid,
yeah, no,
Joseph
but
Morelli.
yeah, but it still doesn't matter. Like, I can't think of a logical way to bring Timmy back into it. Not if you're
No.
not
I'm
if
not.
you're
I'm not
having
saying it's logical. I'm saying if
the
they asked him
Maserati
to come
come back.
back, he would say yes.
Yeah,
Because career path, it's like, oh, I get to do this again, and I get to be in front of
but then not. But
in a
here's the problem,
$1 to
though.
$2 billion movie.
But
Hell
the
yeah, I'm doing
problem
it.
is, though, unless you. But here's the problem, though. You bring him back as Timmy, right? You need to pause the movie and say, "This is the same actor who played him all those years ago," because no one's going to know
Well,
that.
that would be the opener. Instead of doing it with the stupid kids at the beginning, you would have something with Timmy, and it would be a quick refresher. It would be something in the background, like
But
what's
you
his
still
name?
no. It's not even no.
Like
It's not even.
Dotson's
It's not even
office
about
with
the
like all
character.
the memorabilia.
It's not even about the character. It's about the actor. Unless you know it's literally the same actor from that first movie, it won't matter. That's the
No, that's
problem.
why it's the way you reset up the characters. You have to tell the audience that it's the same character, which then would like Dotson.
No,
The first
no,
time
I'm
I
not
saw
saying it's
Dominion, I didn't know it was the same guy.
no.
I had no
But
idea.
what I
They
mean
set it
is
up terribly.
no. What I mean is, if you bring the same actor back to play the role of Timmy, yes, you've got to say this is Timmy, but you then have to make sure the audience understands it's the same actor,
Well,
not a different actor playing the
all the
role.
press tour stuff at the beginning.
But most people won't still. It's going to be like, oh, that's cool.
No, yeah. No, I'm just saying.
Now
I'm not saying
speaking
it
of
would have
scenes,
worked. I'm speaking from the actor's point of view. If they bring him back, he's going to say yes. He's
now
not going to be
speaking.
like, "Oh, it's been too long. My career, the double wide trailer I'm living in is good enough. I'm not going to accept that kind of money."
Well, we don't know. We don't know if he's got money. His parents might have been
No, I know.
shrewd and might have been good. So, don't
I
put
know.
on the usual kitty making nothing crap. Now, speaking
mean,
of
that's
scenes I hate, this one's up there. This scene I hate the most in the movie.
it's humanizing Claire. That's all this is for.
But
It's making her not a robot.
yeah, but it has no
Well, it
payoff.
does because again, this is also building the Indominus Rex into a killing machine.
Fine. All you got to do is show the carnage. But this whole moment where you've got
It's
the
humanizing
one,
Claire. That's the reason
but
it works.
it's
That's
the
the
one
reason it's here.
proper, but it's the one proper physical dinosaurs, one practical dinosaur they built for the movie, and he looks so out of place compared to the rubbery CG monster dinos that we get.
Yeah.
Yes, it's supposed to humanize Claire, but we've already had that moment when Owen has a go at her for not remembering the names, the age of her nephews. That's your humanizing point. This is now making her see the dinosaurs as actual creatures instead of product. But that's not her character arc. Her character arc is going from soulless corporate person to family person.
Yeah.
To me, they just had this. They just wanted to have a moment where they got to interact with a real dinosaur, for lack of a better term. I hate it. It stops the movie cold.
Vinny D is wearing the classic post-apocalyptic T-shirt too. By the way.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry. The double breast pocket khaki.
Yeah, that's the thing. That scene with the dinosaur, it stops the movie cold.
Yeah, that's again, that's what we said in the opener of this episode. That's just stuff that you and I are going to disagree on. To me, it doesn't do that.
Oh, it does to me, because we got this great build up with them tracking the kids. We got the kids escaping, and then suddenly we stop everything to say, "Hey, Claire's becoming more human." You can have all that. You could have her becoming more human throughout the ride with like all this. This is more humanizing than her seeing a dinosaur dying to me, because she's actively caring and trying to save them.
Yeah, but they wanted you because she was very like all the dinosaurs are numbers in a
Yeah, the
spreadsheet type
product.
of thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I
So
understand why they do it. I
they're
understand why
humanizing her
it's
to
there.
the kids, but
Yeah.
they're also humanizing her to the animals.
No, I said that. I said that.
It was,
I said that I understand
yeah.
why they're doing it. I understand it. I just, to me, it's unnecessary.
Yeah, I don't disagree
But
with that, but it doesn't at the same time it doesn't overly bother me.
it does for me.
Who's in the Navy? Sorry, that was a great line. Who's in the Navy, not the Navajo?
And this I hate as well.
I loved it because his reaction is exactly what my reaction is. Yeah, because it's just like, what? Except none of these dinosaurs, or very few of these dinosaurs. Some of these
Yeah.
dinosaurs weren't
You
alive.
said you say this with
Yeah,
you've said this with
a lot of them were.
all the past movies we've watched.
Oh,
Yes,
a
not
lot of
all
them.
these were
A
from
lot of them
the,
were. The
yeah,
Cretaceous period was,
but you can't call it Cretaceous Park because it doesn't sound cool.
no. Although, when did we decide that the word Jurassic was cool?
It just sounds cool. And I'll tell you who decided it was cool. Michael Crichton.
If Michael Crichton called the book Cretaceous Park and
It
it
wouldn't
was
have
the
been as
same,
successful, no.
uh,
You're gonna have to give me a second, Matt, and our lovely viewers, because one of my cats just threw up on the floor right next to me. It's a hairball puke, so I've got to clean that up. We got hardwood floors.
oh dear, yes, go
Yeah,
right
and
ahead.
this is all
I
stuff
will.
this is all
Yeah.
stuff I don't care about either. So you can wax nostalgia,
Oh, I love waxing my nostalgia.
and you get to do it on YouTube.
Yeah. So yes, this is me waxing my nostalgia. So this is obviously the original visitor center for Jurassic Park. We do get a little of the original score. Hear it with the piano.
Oh, that is so wet and hairbally.
As we get commentary from Rich in the background. When dinosaurs roam the earth. See, stuff like this I love. I'm a sucker for nostalgia. I'm sure you guys already know that. I love good nostalgia. That's why like Ghostbusters Afterlife was like primo entertainment for me. That was just nostalgia 101. Like this is great nostalgia. There's just the ways some writers and directors go about it in cinema is it's really hard. It's really hard not to love it, to be honest. It's like all of this stuff because we remember all of this stuff from JP1. Timmy's night vision goggles, the ones that are really heavy, so they must cost a lot.
Has your nostalgia been waxed enough?
Yes, and we're about to get the the actual Jeep that we saw in JP1, which
Was that the Jeep in the
by all
tree?
accounts shouldn't run, but it does, and
Yeah.
it is kind of weird, but whatever. Again, it's a dinosaur movie, so I'm already like, I mean, none of this crap's going to happen anyways, so why not have a
Yeah,
Jeep
your
run?
suspension of disbelief is already disbelieving.
Pretty suspended.
Yeah.
I was
And
waxing so well, and then all we heard in the background was that's a really wet one, or whatever you
yeah, I
said.
said, oh, that's so wet and hairbally and squishy.
Yeah, I said as we're getting commentary from Rich in the background.
But well, I had to clean it up, otherwise it's just gonna.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I'm glad. I'm just glad it was hairball. See, not only is this your suspension of disbelief is big on this movie, especially this one, we're also into science fantasy.
Yeah.
Because of the hologram. The moment you bring in a hologram, you're like, yeah, we're like 5 years in the future, kind of deal.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think that is a part of, well, if
Oh,
Mizrahi is the modern day John Hammond, then like what are the steps in technology that his company has taken? Like what
yeah,
is the
exactly.
spared no expense version to
Yeah,
Mizrahi? And
yeah.
Mizrahi's versions are the upgrades to the park and the hybrid genetic modifications.
Oh, yeah, and also he is diversified, so we don't know exactly.
Yeah, we don't know where all
Yeah,
this tech is coming from.
yeah,
Vinny D made that apparently clear that he is
yeah.
diversified, the 8th richest man in the world.
Oh, yeah, he's so diversified, he doesn't even know half of what he's in.
Yeah. She reminds me of the chick that everyone wanted Peter Parker to get with in Spider-Man. In the original, in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man's. Remember the girl instead of
Oh,
Mary Jane?
yeah, it was
The
his landlord's daughter.
Yeah, the blonde. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it was his
was
landlord's
really into
daughter.
him. That was like
Yeah, that
super
was the
into him.
landlord's daughter. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. She kind of gives that vibe for me, where I'm like, man, it's like I just remember that meme with Peter and then Mary Jane Watson and her, and they're like the girl that he ended up with, but the girl that everyone wanted him to end up
Yeah.
with, and it was the other girl because Mary Jane was a headache for quite a while, and this girl just loved him from the get go.
That's how it always is. There's always the one girl that loves you from the get go, and there's the girl that you want,
Yeah,
who's always going to be a pain in the ass.
actually, I can think of something like that movie wise, but I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember what it was. I mean, famously, I guess it's Phineas and Ferb. Um, if anyone's familiar with that, but
Yeah, I'm not.
yeah, no,
Well, except for the Star Wars episode you made me watch. Yeah,
which was very entertaining.
it was.
It was. It was just cheeky beyond belief, and it was so great. I like this tune in the background. Well, the one that was playing. So you missed it as they were walking in, when the kids were walking into the old visitor center and they were like exploring, and
Yeah,
then you saw them looking at the ground. You heard the very faint piano of the original theme.
yeah,
And it was just one of those moments where you're like, see, that is nostalgia 101.
yeah,
That
yeah. That's
is,
how you do it. It's
see, for
not.
me, that's the first time you hear the music in Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Oh, you mean at the very start of the damn movie?
When you hear it, no, but see, that's why it's quiet. And then you hear that music. And then even throughout the movie, there's other parts in the movie where they're like driving and it's real quiet. And all you hear is like the tinking of the piano that Venkman plays in the first
Yeah. See,
Ghostbusters.
I don't
You
have the
hear that and you're
same.
just like, oh, it just brings.
I really don't have the same.
Yeah, you
I
don't
don't
have the
know.
nostalgia factor that I do. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I love Ghostbusters, but whenever I've watched Afterlife, whether it's been with you or by myself, I've always had the same thing. I've just gone, yeah, that was fun. That was a good movie. But I don't sit there and cry.
I got so many dude. That movie
I
hit me
know.
hard in theaters. I
Yeah,
saw it
when
opening night, and that hit me hard.
I remember when we watched it together for that first time.
Yeah.
First time I watched it, we're watching it together, and you're
That's the
there,
second
and I can
time I
see
watched
you know
it.
every now and then you're like,
Oh,
you big girls
that
blouse.
hit. That one hit hard. This is such a great shot. Because you're thinking of the T-Rex skeleton there, and then
Yeah.
later at the end of Jurassic Park, you're thinking of the T-Rex roaring there. At least I am.
Yeah.
And then you see the Indominus, and the Indominus is just maniacal. Because you're like, oh, the T-Rex is just carnivorous predator or whatever, but the
Yeah.
Indominus is just like hate. It's just hatred. This thing.
And these two guys who are in the helicopter with Maserati, okay, so they've just said they're ex-military, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you would think they would know how to shoot,
It doesn't mean they were good.
but you still would think they would know how to shoot.
Yeah. You'd be surprised.
Hello.
When you're in the military, like 1% of what you do is fire a weapon.
Yeah, I know. But even you and I know you lead the target, not fire.
Well, yeah, that was, yeah.
Not do this, not fire behind the dead thing.
Chasing it with bullets.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. Yeah, that thing might be moving, but it's big and it's still an easy target to hit.
Yeah. And Maserati could push that helicopter faster.
But he's also an amateur pilot, so.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, here comes one of your favorite dinosaurs or flying reptiles, not a dinosaur. There he is.
Yeah, the
Dimorphodon.
Morphodon. Yeah.
Yep.
See, I reckon if you and I write this sort of if you and I were to write our version of this, it would be so badass. Everyone would be a badass. The dinosaurs would have no chance.
No, because I kind of like that's what I did with Fracture is that mankind in Fracture, because of the setting I gave it where I put it on New York Island.
No, I mean we write this. We do
No,
our version
but I'm
of
saying
Jurassic
there's
World.
still ways to do it to where, like Jurassic Park, where it's minimal people. It's because
No, I'm talking about we write our version of Jurassic. No, I'm talking about we write our version of this story.
No,
this
that's what I
movie.
mean. Is there would still be ways to do it to where the humans were still incredibly underpowered, I guess. Especially once you introduce flying things, you're screwed.
Oh yeah,
like you're screwed. Like once you introduce flying predators, dude, T-Rex is one thing. Big flying animal, hell no. It's like that brings in a whole nother problem. That's why for me the most like terrifying like prehistoric predator ever is Quetzalcoatlus. It's like you give me an animal that's as tall as a giraffe with a 40-foot wingspan. Hell no. It's like, no. That is terrifying to me. I actually had that number 29 as an air freshener in my car for a couple years. That Jurassic Park tag.
yeah,
There's an air freshener you can buy.
Fair enough.
And then all it is, it's just a stupid piece of cardboard. So once the scent goes away, doesn't it look like Clark Judge? Or Clark, what the hell's his name? No, something Clark. Coulson.
Clark Gregg.
Clark Gregg, sorry. Clark Judge. What the hell was I thinking?
No,
yeah,
it looked
Clark
nothing like him. Looked nothing like him.
Kind of looks like, yeah.
No.
Actually kind of sounded like him too.
Nah.
And obviously Zara that is not her natural hair color. That's not. Sorry.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. It's just, it looks so incredibly dark on her skin tone. And then the eyebrows are so incredibly dark.
No,
is it?
That is, yeah.
Oh, you know the actress better? Okay.
She's an Irish actress, so yeah.
Oh, I figured it'd be red then. Like she'd have
No,
I was about to
no,
say she
no,
kind of looks like a redhead.
no. She. Everything I've ever seen her in, she's that with the dark hair, the dark eyebrows. That's just her.
No, it's just so contrasted on her skin
Yeah.
tone.
Well, yeah. She's got very pale skin.
But yeah, I was thinking more of like Kieran Gillen.
No, that's Scottish.
It's red hair. It's anything UK essentially.
Well, you think every woman from the UK has
Actually,
red hair?
it's Norse. It's everything. Red is very common.
No,
Yes,
they have.
everybody from the UK is a redhead. Yes, I agree with your comment.
Oh, we've got to mention Jimmy Buffett's cameo in this.
Buffett, but yes,
Him too.
he's not Warren Buffet or whatever he calls himself. Rich, we do not have buffets here. We go to Buffett's.
No, we've
Yeah,
got
Jim.
Buffett's out here. We got Buffett's
Yeah,
out here too. I've just always pronounced for some
buffet.
reason I always pronounce it as buffet.
Yeah, no, it's Buffett. At least for him, it is. Maybe like his parents or his grandparents, it was Buffet, but he's always called him. Well, rest in peace. But he always called himself Buffett. Like, dude, you're from. He's from. He's from Louisiana. So buffet, Louisiana has a very Creole French.
Yeah, so it makes sense to be
It could
pronounced
be,
buffet.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it was probably one of those like immigrant
Well,
Americanized
actually,
it.
it might be pronounced Jimmy Buffet instead of buffet.
Yeah, but I think because he is, he's a Nolans boy and he's an American. I think just Buffett was probably in the kind of like how John Denver, right? You know,
Hmm.
he's
What
not going to
about
call
John
himself.
Denver?
Well, his real last name is Dusseldorf.
Ah, fair enough.
His name's John Dusseldorf because his nephews were actors. I don't know if you remember. Probably not because it's an Adam Sandler movie. But oh, what the heck's the name of the movie? It's not one of
I
my
don't know.
favorites, but I know a lot of people like it. Um, when he's in New York, he has the kid.
Oh, was it? Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. It's not all about a boy.
No,
No, that was the British one with Hugh Grant.
I can't remember. It was that's where he had Scuba Steve. Uh, Rob Schneider was hilarious. He played the delivery guy who
Big Daddy.
yeah, Big Daddy. So the kid in that they're twins, child actors. That is John Denver's nephews, and one of those kids ended up ODing.
Right.
Actually, they both might be dead now. I don't know, but I know one of them died young. But those are John Denver's nephews, and his last name is Dusseldorf. But professionally, he's John Denver.
Yep, fair enough.
Yeah. So
And
Jimmy Buffett sounds better as a rock star.
yeah, fair enough.
is my
And
long-winded
this,
explanation of why he
yeah,
chose if it was something else, which it
yeah.
probably was just based on his background and his obviously where he's from. But then he sang a bunch of pirate songs in the Caribbean, but he's from.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. Chris has the new Terminalist series coming out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the prequel.
The prequel to what is it, Dark Wolf?
Dark Wolf, yeah, it's focusing on Taylor Kitsch's character.
Yeah, they're both still military in that, correct?
Yeah, because it's a
Yeah.
prequel.
No, but it could have been before because Terminalist is him.
No, it's because
Oh no, because the Terminalist starts with him retiring
Basically, yeah, it's forced retirement from well, it's not even retirement. It's basically he finds out he's dying and he just leaves to go on the revenge path.
Yeah, because it starts with the mission that was botched,
Yeah,
but it
the
was
setup.
the
Yeah, the
setup.
setup mission.
Yeah, the setup mission, which forces him out because he's also like injured. But yeah,
You know, we haven't talked about the movie in a while.
we kind of have.
No, not really.
We were talking about dinosaurs, and we were talking about
Well, no,
the
because
Irish woman's
you went
black
off on
hair.
we went off the big tangent about Jimmy Buffett and Dusseldorf's
yeah, the Dusseldorfs.
and prequel series. I'm sorry, but with all those
Right
people
now,
running
it's
around
just
you,
visual spectacle. There's really not a lot to talk
Yeah, I
about,
know.
to be honest. I like this.
And then we do the cut from day to night, just instantly.
It could have been
It's a jarring
becoming
cut. It's a
becoming
jarring cut.
dusky.
No, it's a jarring cut. And I know why they do the cut to nighttime because everything looks better at night. Same as everything looks better in slow mo.
Yeah, bullet time, right?
No, not even bullet time. I'm talking about like just your proper Michael Bay slow mo.
Oh. And then the Wachowski
Yeah, that's your bullet time, which no one does anymore.
the Wachowski brother sister.
Yeah, that's
whatever.
the bullet time system. Yeah, that was bullet time.
Yeah,
which no one does anymore.
no, that was hot for a good month and a half.
Oh, that was about 3 years. It was good for 3 years.
Yeah. Problem is, every time you did it, people are like, they're just ripping off the Matrix.
Yeah.
It's like, actually, back then, were they ripping off the Matrix or were they ripping off Max Payne?
No,
Matrix
it
was
was
before Max Payne, right?
because
Max Payne was the first video game that I ever remembered with like slow-mo bullet
yeah,
time.
no, it was the first to do it.
But I'm pretty sure because Matrix was like 90, 99, 90, 98. Was that before Mummy?
Okay.
Yeah.
So Max Payne 1 came out in 2001.
No, it was right around the same era then. When did Matrix come out? Not that they're equally the same thing because they're not, but I was just curious as far as like slow-mo.
99.
99? Okay, yeah. So, yeah, Matrix.
But it's not a case of Max Payne ripping off Matrix.
No.
Because it video game completely different.
Yeah. No, but it's like because we just call it bullet time. And that's what it was actually called in Max Payne. It was called bullet time.
Yeah.
Hey, this is his this looks like his team in Dark Wolf.
You mean in Terminal List?
Yeah. Well, Dark Wolf, I mean, it's his team. But
well, no, because it's not focused on Reese is not his character is not the main character in Dark Wolf. He's main character is Taylor Kitsch's.
No, but the team is Reese was the SEAL commander.
Yeah, but
so it's his
I don't know
team,
if it's following.
Kitsch's
it's not following. It's not following the team though. It's following Taylor Kitsch, who I think from memory, his character went to buds with Reese and then went off and did his own thing.
Yeah, I thought they fought together for a while, and then because he left a lot earlier than Reese did and did a bunch of like Black Ops Underground stuff, didn't he?
Yeah.
Kitsch's character.
Yeah. He basically went into the private sector.
Yeah. There's no seatbelts. See, like some of the stuff I'm okay with her because it's awkward and you have to like really understand that she is very uncomfortable right now because she doesn't like kids.
Yeah.
Or she never like wanted kids type of thing. So she doesn't really know what to. So like that, like just seatbelts on and they're just looking around going, what seatbelts? And just hold hands, and you're like, what? And you're like, well, what else is she supposed to say? It's a nice moment. I mean, the two of them played it off well. I think it's
Yeah.
also, honestly, it's not Ty, it's him. Nick Robinson is the other brother. He's kind of a douche. It's just like,
But that's how the character's written.
no, he is, and I think that's part of it, is like he's like that sex-driven teenage douche, and because he is at the beginning of it, because he gets called out by it. You're like, what do you think's gonna happen when you're just staring at him? You know, that line, and you're like it again. It's just not really necessary. And again, that's just that is a writing problem. That is a character development writing problem there. He could have just been like a sports brat.
Yeah.
You make him like a football player, and he's missing.
Yeah, you make him a
game.
jock.
You make him a jock, and you're like, okay, now it makes more sense. But right now, he's just a testosterone fueled 16-year-old or whatever he is.
You make him Fridge from Welcome to the Jungle, Jumanji.
Pretty much.
That character.
Yeah. I love that movie. One of the greatest composers in history. Sir Henry Jackman.
He's not a sir.
No, I know.
Pretty sure if you weren't married with kids, you'd go after him.
She only likes me for my body.
Because every time we talk movie scores or game scores, you always bring him up. He's good, but
it just so happens he's responsible, or at least he's involved in some of my favorite scores. Because I love the work he did in Captain America: Winter Soldier, and obviously I love the work that he's done in 2 of the Uncharted games. You know, the 2 Jumanji movies are great. They're really good, especially just that jungle adventure style. It's really good. See, I would rather watch the dinosaurs run like that than watch Superman fly like that.
Yeah.
It's like literally the worst angle you could ever have anyone fly at it, and for some reason James Gunn prefers it. Because he's done it in several movies. Well, at least 2.
What ones?
Well, Guardians.
When?
He did it with Adam Warlock. That horrible scene with Adam Warlock flying and spinning.
3, yeah.
And then he's doing it in Superman, because that's like one of the criticisms in Superman. But then did they do that with Henry too? Wasn't there a scene where they had Cavill fly like that too, with like the camera like basically mounted on his forehead?
Oh yeah, no, there was a close up, but that was him when he was learning to fly, and they wanted to get the joy of him flying. Because what happens is he does the big jumps like in the original comics, and then finally he takes off properly. He's laughing, he's enjoying it, and then suddenly he crashes.
Yeah, that I remember. I remember the crash.
Yeah, so it did have a point. Whereas with James Gunn, it's just
It's just a stylistic thing. That's, I mean, it's nauseating, personally. This was a great oh crap moment.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first time I saw that, and then you see the camera angle with the 4 night vision from the Raptors looking at Owen, in my head, I didn't really compute that. Oh crap! All 4 of them are looking at Owen.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm going, oh yeah, whatever. That's a cool camera angle. But I'm like, oh wait, those are the 4 raptors, and they're all looking at their former alpha, Owen. And I'm like, oh, it's not that they're gonna kill the soldiers or these guys. They're all looking at Owen. So it's like, oh, that sucks. I had to break out the Swedish fish.
You did.
Mm-hmm. I love this whole sequence.
Yeah, this is horror.
Yeah. It's JP2, tall, long grass. But
just from the Raptors POV.
Yeah. But I like it switching back and forth between the night vision cameras and
normal,
the regular.
Yeah. Normal.
But again, the lighting's great. The red lasers. The angle of this shot coming from behind. His reaction to the raptor being blown up. Not entirely sure why Barry's carrying around a revolver, but
because it looks cool.
And that is probably 45. It might be bigger. Either 45 ACP or something bigger. It might be bigger. Just based on that barrel size or the diameter. You're going to look on your gun website?
Yep. You know me too well.
I mean, 45 ACP is going to hurt,
you know
but
me too well,
that might
sir.
be bigger. Great line. He's scared. It's okay to lie to people who are scared.
It's a Smith & Wesson Model 500.
Oh, 500. Okay. If that's also probably 500.
It's firing the 500 S&W Magnum cartridge.
Yeah, that is not 45.
No.
That's a rifle round. That is basically elephant gun round.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was also a 5-shooter. That wasn't even a 6-shooter. Yeah, Kentucky Ballistics, Scott on YouTube. He does a lot with like large caliber rifle rounds, and he'll do like 500, 700, like nitro, like 500 Nitro Express, 700, whatever they are. I don't know like large calibers all that well, but he does a lot of videos with those big handgun, big rifle rounds.
Yeah.
Did she just call me Larry?
No, she says Larry.
No, I know, but it sounds like she yells, Larry!
Yeah, I know.
It's probably my least favorite thing that not just movies, but writers do is not that he's a main character, but when you call your main characters by their last names, I absolutely hate that.
Yeah.
I hate.
Well, the only
I
time
don't.
you like the only time you do it is when it's military, really.
Usually, it's military, or if it's
Yeah.
a specific, like you don't know a lot about the character, so like maybe that's the only name that people
Well,
really know them by, or maybe
but there,
it's
there was that Luc Besson produced movie called Lockdown, which
Mhm.
was basically Escape from it was like Escape from New York, but set on a space station prison. It had Guy Pearce in it, and Luc Besson
Okay.
wrote it and produced it. And the main character, Guy Pearce's badass character, he's called Locke, and that's his last name. That's all anyone calls him, and they make reference to his first name, but we never learn it until the very end of the movie, where we learn that his first name is Marion, and he hates it with a passion. In that case, to me, I go, that's great. That's a good reason to do it.
So that's like the sheriff of Rottingham.
Yep, it's like that.
Do you,
But it's all,
Mervin?
Mhm.
Mervin?
But also,
Your name's
also,
Mervin?
but
Shut
also
up! Shut up!
Marion. There's also the fact that Marion was John Wayne's name.
Yeah.
He was a Marion. So but you get this badass character doing all this cool stuff,
Yeah.
and he's called locked in at the very end. You find out his first name's Marion. To me, I go, that's a good way of doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we had the record scratch moment. So, what happened between this movie and Fallen Kingdom that had Henry go from working for InGen to the Lockwoods?
It's probably still InGen.
But the Lockwood isn't InGen. Remember, InGen is was Hammond's company.
I think they started it together, and then maybe I don't know.
And
If,
then, but Lockwood's never mentioned before at all. So
no,
that's
so you got to remember, he's not really. He's financed by the Lockwoods, but he's working for Eli Mills. So maybe
yeah. But
Eli
what I get
Mills
that
is who
what I
brings.
get, but what I'm getting is what happened between here to get him to there.
I don't know.
And that's the biggest problem with Henry's whole character for this trilogy.
Well, I think
The
that
jump,
also the writers didn't know what they wanted to do with him.
yeah,
So it's like unless they wrote, this isn't a Lord of the Rings thing where when they wrote and produced all three movies together.
yeah, I know,
So they had a very consistent start to finish. This
yeah, I know,
was, oh, we made a movie, it did great. Let's move on to
yeah,
the next one. Well, what do we do next? So
yeah.
they,
Well, I know
yeah,
how it works, but it's still
yeah.
that case of trying
Well, that's why if they
justifying.
did, then they may have done a Lockwood thing or an InGen thing. Like there may have been a different way to do it.
Also, different director coming in.
Yep.
This is why instead of having to be Henry, you come up with a whole different character.
Yeah. Somebody that maybe worked under Henry. So if you want the nostalgia factor and you can be like, I was there on the island that day. I
Yeah,
was there for blah, blah, blah. But it's not a character we know. It's still a
yeah.
new personality.
Because the way Henry acts in this movie is a betrayal of who he was in that first movie.
He was also bright eyed and bushy tailed back then. So I could see
Yeah,
maybe like we were talking with Timmy being a little
yeah.
disenfranchised.
But okay, there's disenfranchised, but then there's full on mad scientist.
I could see Henry going mad scientist because he's obsessed with understanding.
Mm,
Like obsessed with understanding what happened and a way to
but
stop
none
it.
of that is ever explained. None of that's like in that
No.
first movie. He's just a throwaway character. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not even a main character because at that point he's off the island when everything
Yep,
happens.
exactly.
Because he's not one of the what is it?
Yeah,
There's 5 people left on the island at the end. No, you have the 2 kids, you have the 3
and three
major
adults.
adults,
Yeah,
so that's 5. No, but then you have Ray Arnold, you have John
Muldoon
Hammond, and you have Muldoon,
and
and you
Nedry.
have and Nedry.
Yeah,
Okay. So yeah,
It's
he's
8
not a
people,
part of that. That's
but yeah, no, it is that thing
9.
of that's the thing. So it makes no sense for
On the
him to go
island.
mad scientist because
No.
he is just he's a worker bee.
If he was there with them at the very end and he went
It
through
makes sense.
everything they
I,
did,
I would, I would, I would.
I could
It'd be more
I could buy
believable.
it. Yeah,
But
I could buy
see,
it.
the way he's acting here, it's almost like he's the one who created the technology. He's the one who he's the father of this. Whereas in the first movie,
Yeah,
it's
we
just a
don't
guy working there.
we don't
He's
get a
not
sense of
even
that.
yeah. It makes so it really
Or
it's
if
just
they brought him back in JP2 or JP3 where we got more
yeah,
substance of his character before this.
yeah.
So maybe in JP3 he's involved and he was there on Isla Sorna and he was involved in that operation to move the dinosaurs to Nublar and then he took over and like
Maybe, but okay, then that become. But the problem then becomes
well, we just know that he was
you.
more involved and more connected at least.
But the problem then becomes you're planning a longer story
Yeah.
instead of movie to movie, which is how these are made.
Yeah. Well, especially with the original trilogy, that was supposed to be it.
Yeah. Um, I,
Because
like I
we
said,
said this
this
before, you don't wait 14 or 15 years between sequels on
no,
price.
no.
No.
And the problem with this is it's very much a case of this movie is really trying to do nostalgia.
Yeah.
And that's why they brought Henry back without really giving it thought. And instead of having it be a T-Rex that saves them from the Raptors, it's the Raptors saving them from the Indominus.
Wow. You still get the Rex.
Yeah, but that's what this movie is working more on nostalgia than anything else.
Yeah. And the one thing that they did screw up from the get-go is they really demeaned the Rex.
Yeah.
They really made the Rex a afterthought, a um a I mean really just an afterthought. Like I'm trying to think of a better way to describe it, but
Oh no, it
they
is an
demeaned it. They
afterthought.
demeaned the
Yeah.
Rex because the Rex was supposed to be like
The
it,
king.
the king. But they also did that really bad in JP3. Like they did
3.
it horribly
Well, in
with
3
the
they had to
Spinosaurus.
establish in 3 they had to establish the Spinosaurus was the bigger threat.
See that I'm okay with if the Spinosaurus is going to come like if the Spinosaurus is going to be more than just a skeleton behind Owen's head right now.
Yeah.
Because that's the only other time you ever see a Spinosaur in the entire series
Yeah.
is that skeleton right there.
I know.
So it's like
But we are getting some in Rebirth.
yeah, we're getting 3 actually, from what I
Woohoo.
understand. But and again, I love the Indominus Rex. The dinosaur design, the backstory behind it, what it is, all of the scientific stuff about cuttlefish genes, tree frog this. Like
Yeah.
I love the Indominus Rex. I think the Indominus is awesome. You know, so it's got nothing to do with that. Like that, and that's what we keep saying about these movies. Like, what was the title of episode 2 for JP2 was great dinos, great cast, regrettable movie. What happened? Like, it's like as long as you're giving me the creature feature, creature thriller, it's like I can let a lot slide. Like I can let a lot slide. So it's like that's why like a movie like this, yeah, it's not perfect. I
Can
still
you
love
let
it.
what we're about to see, can you let it slide?
Oh, the running in high heels.
There you go.
I am going to assume that based on the character that we know of Claire, she's never run in high heels a day in her life. I'm just saying. Now, I've never put on a pair of high heels to run, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that it's hard.
Oh yeah.
So, like right
Walking in
now,
the high.
shouldn't she have done the whole F these heels, get out of here, and I'm just barefoot for a while? Like,
But see, what
to
gets
me,
me
right
right?
there, she should have called Lowry, said open paddock 9, and then as the paddock is opening, she's tossing the heels. That would have been a great moment because you're sitting here going, "Oh, here it comes!" Like she's about to like. That would have set
But
up the
what
spring.
annoys me about what just happened is this: she runs, she's carrying the flare, which this movie says T-Rexes only follow the flares. She throws it at the Indominus, and we know the T-Rex's vision is based on motion. Why is it going towards a tiny flare where there's a bigger human he can go for?
Probably just the light, or it's trained.
Yeah,
Because earlier in the movie when they're feeding the T-Rex, and that's when the kids
yeah, they
eat for the
throw
first
they.
time,
Yeah, I know.
there's a flare
But
that
that's
pops.
coming. But that's nostalgia from when Malcolm
Yeah.
and Grant distracted with the flare.
Yeah. So right now you'd have to assume there's some training involved where flare means food type of thing. I'm just saying. I'm trying to like. This is the reason it happened. Whatever. It's not necessarily correct. I'm just saying. Again, that's the problem I have with short-ish movies, especially when the story is overly complex, is there's so many holes that could have been
Yeah,
filled with something
yeah.
that giving it
But also
15 minutes more runtime.
But also, they do have a set. They have to have a certain runtime to get more showings at the cinema.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. That's why, again, I'm not asking to make it shorter. I'm asking to make it a little longer.
No, but they can't because the longer a movie, the less
Yeah.
they can have it playing throughout a day, which means the less money they make.
Yeah.
Because
So
when
like
push
this
comes to
movie,
shoves,
if they did a like Lord of the Rings style director's cut, where we get like 45 extra minutes.
I reckon you get another hour tops.
Yeah.
But by that point, who's going to watch it?
True. No, it was just some of those holes would be filled in, but problem is movies like that, they don't have anything like that, like in the final.
No, these
At
movies are
that point,
made.
they're probably looking for more stuff to add versus stuff to cut.
No. In these movies, they're looking to cut.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
More,
I mean, there's always
they're not going to add.
Yeah, there's
They're never going to add in this sort of movie. They're never going to add
unless the
and if they
runtime
film
is
it,
really short. Because
and if
sometimes it's like,
but even then, what they'll do, they'll add a talking scene. They won't add any dinosaur stuff. They'll just add talking. Yeah, you'll get a scene where you get everyone in one location and they're arguing for about 10 minutes. That's what you'll get.
like the 10-minute talking scene that's supposed to be in the Superman movie that people are really squeamish about.
No, I don't.
10,
I don't know about that.
10 straight minutes of Lois and Clark talking to each other. Lois
is that when they're interviewing? Yeah.
Yeah, interviewing. It's literally 10 minutes in the same room, 10 minutes straight on screen of them talking. And I'm like sitting here going, like, do you know how long that is in movie terms?
Yeah. I reckon the movie's going to come
2
out.
minutes is a lot.
Yeah.
10 minutes is
the movie will come out. People who love it are going to love it.
Yeah.
And the people
100%.
and the rest of the world is going to go, I bet the rest of the world is going to go, Zack Snyder's version was better. It was more action.
Yeah. When they said this is a big thing because they own the rights to this version of Superman where all the other Supermans are going to public domain soon.
Well, yeah, at the moment, there's a chance the movie won't even be shown in certain countries because of the copyright. There's copyright, and the Schuster and Siegel families are actually suing Warner Brothers again.
Yeah, they're trying to delay it again.
Yeah.
Or they're trying to delay it.
Yeah, so there's a chance the movie won't come out in, I think it was like Australia, New Zealand, UK, a couple of other territories.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think it's 3 years. It becomes public domain, which is 75 years.
Yeah, it's different when it comes to like that's the character, different with the movies.
No, it's character. Yeah, it's Superman.
Yeah,
that's what happened with Mickey Mouse. That's what happened with Winnie the Pooh. That's why you have all these horror movies being made.
The Mickey Mouse, it's not Mickey Mouse. It's just Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse.
Oh, Steamboat Willie. But Winnie the Pooh is.
Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh's always been in the public domain. As long as he's a naked bear. The moment you stick that red T-shirt on him, you're
true.
now infringing on Disney copyright.
But now I think that's over because they did that horror movie, the
Yeah.
slasher movie.
Yeah.
And Gary from Nerdrotic, which I've mentioned several times, he personally knows a lot of people in the industry, and he goes, "Yeah, I already know like 3 projects right now that are working on their version of Superman
Yeah.
because they're getting it ready because that's what they
Yeah.
do. They get it ready, and then once the public domain is over, it'll release. So they're ramping up. That's what they did with Pooh. That's what they did with Steamboat Willie. They were working on it while it was still Disney property because they could. You're allowed to. You just can't release it.
Yeah.
So. And
This
then
was a good way to this was a good way to end the movie.
Yeah, but this is also a big model change for Rexy.
Oh yeah.
So because the original Rexy was more thick, but
Yeah.
I guess we're
But
all
also
supposed to
it's the
assume that.
age.
Yeah, it's the age. Yeah, this is supposed to be an old Rex. Older, I guess.
And that was Jurassic World.
Yeah, it was Jurassic World 2015. God, already. Oh, that's why this movie was halfway decent. Is Kathleen Kennedy was not a producer.
Ah, come on. She used to produce good things back in the day.
Used to.
You know, she did. It was when she became the head of Lucasfilm. That's when it was an issue. Yeah. Once she became the head, once she was given the keys to the Lucasfilm kingdom, that's when it went downhill.
Yeah. Oh God.
But we're not. That's a different conversation for a different day where we're all friends and we're all on the same page for a lot of things, and we can all have a nice drink and talk.
Especially the drink part.
Cheers. So next time on the show, we're going to be doing Jurassic World 2. Fallen Kingdom.
Are we sure it's not called Fallen Kingdom? Jurassic
No, this
Park?
one's no. This one's 100% Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. They got it right.
Yeah, they didn't do the subtitle first.
Oh, you mean like James Superman James Gunn?
Yeah, no, the Lost World Jurassic Park.
I prefer Superman James Gunn.
Yeah, that's like they're speaking in Yoda's.
Yeah.
The Lost World Jurassic Park. It's never gonna not bother me.
I know. And
no,
nothing
again,
wrong with that.
Yeah, no. And
like
I said,
this movie is okay.
No, and that's the thing. This movie, like when I watch, like I said, we've talked about this several times. Like, I want to be entertained.
Yeah.
And I love this movie because I'm entertained. Like I'm watching this movie going, like that's all I want is I just want to be entertained.
But here's the thing: this movie it entertains me every now and then, whereas something like Fallen Kingdom entertains me all the way.
Fallen Kingdom, I would say, Fallen Kingdom has less shortcomings than this movie does. 100%.
Yeah, like Fallen Kingdom.
That's why I said like this movie and Fallen Kingdom flip flop as far as my favorite like Jurassic World movie. So I mean, I got no problem.
Like in Fallen Kingdom, I can't think of anything in Fallen Kingdom that I'm going to bitch and moan about. Like I bitched and moan about things in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I can get behind that because there is like I'm even thinking
and the only thing I could really complain about is Justice.
Great.
The only thing I could really complain about is Justice Smith, but even then, it's not a movie killer. Yeah, it's not even it's not a killer movie killer though.
I just think he's so bad, and it's like
here's the funny thing: I saw him in Fallen Kingdom, hated him. In the Pokemon Detective Pikachu movie, he's not bad. In Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, he's not bad. It's just the way the character was written and the direction he was probably given.
I think that character's just so bad. He's now
I know.
he's bad, but he's supposed to be bad.
Yeah, his character is meant to be annoying. I think, but see,
Yeah.
here's the problem. So you remember in Seinfeld, right? The character Banya in Seinfeld. He was the stand-up comedian who was like a puppy dog around Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, you know, I saw an recent interview with the guy who played that actor. He talks about getting the role. He said he'd been up for the character, for various roles in Seinfeld and never got it. And he gets this role, and the only description for the character says super annoying. And he goes to the audition, and he's there sitting down. And he's hearing everyone else audition, and everyone else is playing the character as angry and demanding and kind of like expecting the world to give him what he wants. That's sort of annoying. And he's sitting there going, "That's not really funny." Then he had the thought, well, what if this guy was more like a puppy dog? So then he goes in and he does this puppy dog and not making the character like a puppy dog. So super annoying, but he doesn't see himself as annoying. He's very sweet towards Jerry. And Seinfeld and Larry David just go, that's hilarious. That's awesome. You've got the job. And I think that's the thing. Justice Smith probably read this character and went, he's supposed to be annoying. I'm going to go over the top with the annoying and make that all this character is, which really sucks.
It does.
Because he's one of the few characters in the whole franchise you want to be eaten by a dinosaur.
I would have loved for that to happen because the horrific, again, we don't call it a story arc, but the horrific story arc we get with him wouldn't have happened.
Yep.
Because now he's some like CIA badass. Like
it's not even a badass. It's not even horrific. It's a pointless arc. It's pointless.
Well, his personality, it's like we were
changes.
talking about. Well, like what we were talking about. So like with Timmy, right? Like you go through this traumatic event and you come out different on the other side. Fine, normal, whatever. But to me, if you're the way he is in Fallen Kingdom, in Dominion, you're worse.
Yeah.
You're not cool and suave and you don't wear glasses
you're not,
anymore.
You're not going to be a badass.
No, you're going to be
PTSD.
So yeah. Oh yeah. You're going to be like literally as introverted as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Like you're going to be so far in the other direction. And that's why I'm like, okay, so this was obviously because Justin Smith had done some other movies and he started to become a little bit more recognizable and more popular. They needed to turn him into something that wasn't
a caricature.
Yeah, that wasn't Franklin. So they needed something different. And it was
it failed.
Yeah. It failed miserably.
But we'll get into that. But we'll get into that when we watch Dominion.
Yeah. We have another movie in between, like I said. Or like what Rich and I said,
the best one of the franchise.
Well, if we're including the Jurassic Park, no, but yes, it is an excellent movie, and like what we were saying. And I will say the score in that the music in that is outstanding because
it's still Michael Giacchino.
No, but it has more of that horror feel to it. So
that comes from J.A. Bayona, the director,
and gloomy.
But we'll get all into that when we watch the movie. Let's not get ahead of ourselves because
Yeah, and then the director's filmography is interesting too because of some of the other projects that he was involved in that kind of shaped what he ended up producing and directing.
Yeah. But it's also the sensibilities being Spanish.
Yeah, that's true. But well, guys, including Richard. Hi. So thanks for checking out another episode. We appreciate the fact that we talk until the end of the credits, it seems like. And we go on and on about stuff that isn't related in the movie that we are currently.
No, you go on and on and on. I don't. I'm very precise and concise. I get to the point.
You're precise.
Yeah, I'm precise.
You're precise. You're precise and concise.
Yeah.
You're comprise.
That I am.
You're very comprise.
All right. So we'll see you all next time for
Yes.
Fallen Kingdom.
Yep. Have fun. Thank you very much. Remember, hit subscribe. Tell your friends. Thanks.